The Lost Library of Alexandria, the greatest treasure that vanished. Imagine a building so extraordinary that people believed it held the knowledge of the entire world. Inside its walls were books from Egypt, Greece, Persia, India, and lands far beyond. The greatest minds of the ancient world came here to study, debate, and discover new ideas. But then, it disappeared. No one knows exactly how it was destroyed. Was it burned in a single catastrophic fire? Or did it slowly vanish over centuries? This is the story of the Library of Alexandria, one of history's greatest mysteries. Chapter 1: A Dream to Collect All Knowledge. Our story begins more than 2,300 years ago in the ancient city of Alexandria, Egypt. The city was founded by the famous conqueror Alexander the Great in 331 BC. Although Alexander died only a few years later, his dream of building a magnificent city lived on. After his death, one of his generals, Ptolemy I, became the ruler of Egypt. He wanted Alexandria to become more than just a powerful city. He wanted it to become the intellectual center of the world. His vision was bold: gather every important book ever written. His son, Ptolemy II, continued that dream and helped build what would become the most famous library in history. The Library of Alexandria was part of a larger center of learning called the Mouseion, or the Temple of the Muses. It wasn't just a library, it was a place where scholars lived, studied, and shared ideas every day. Chapter 2: A library unlike any other. In ancient times, books were not printed on paper. Instead, they were carefully handwritten on long rolls of papyrus called scrolls. Creating a single scroll could take weeks or even months. The rulers of Alexandria spent enormous amounts of money collecting these scrolls from across the known world. Some ancient writers even claimed that every ship entering the harbor was searched for books. If officials found scrolls, they copied them. The library kept the copies, or in some accounts, kept the originals, and returned another version to the owner. Whether every detail of those stories is true is still debated, but they show just how determined Alexandria was to collect knowledge. Over time, the library became home to works on mathematics, astronomy, medicine, geography, philosophy, poetry, and history. It wasn't just storing information, it was protecting humanity's knowledge. Chapter 3: The Greatest Minds Gathered. Imagine walking through halls filled with thousands of scrolls. Around you, philosophers discussed the meaning of life. Astronomers mapped the stars. Doctors studied the human body. Mathematicians solved problems that would influence the world for centuries. Alexandria attracted brilliant thinkers from many different cultures. Here, ideas traveled across borders. People challenged one another's beliefs, tested new theories, and built on the discoveries of those who came before them. Many historians believe this environment made Alexandria one of the greatest centers of learning in the ancient world. Knowledge was its greatest treasure. And for generations, the Library of Alexandria became a symbol of humanity's endless curiosity. But that golden age would not last forever. In the next chapter, we'll discover the incredible achievements connected to the library, and the mystery that has puzzled historians for over 2,000 years. What really happened to the greatest library the world had ever known? The Lost Library of Alexandria, Part 2, Great Discoveries and the Mystery begins. Chapter 4, Where Ideas Changed the World. For centuries, the Library of Alexandria was more than a collection of books. It was a place where some of the brightest minds of the ancient world worked together. One of them was Eratosthenes, a Greek mathematician and geographer. Around 240 BC, he made an astonishing discovery. Using nothing more than shadows, geometry, and careful observation, he calculated the circumference of the Earth. His estimate was remarkably close to the modern measurement. Another famous scholar was Euclid, whose work on geometry became one of the most influential mathematics books ever written. Students around the world studied his ideas for more than 2,000 years. The library was also connected with advances in astronomy, medicine, engineering, and geography. Scholars translated texts from different cultures into Greek, preserving knowledge that might otherwise have been lost. Imagine the excitement of discovering a new idea that no one had ever written down before. In Alexandria, moments like that may have happened every day. Chapter 5. How many scrolls were there? One of the biggest mysteries is how large the library really was. Ancient writers gave very different numbers. Some claimed it contained around 40,000 scrolls. Others said it held as many as 400,000, or even 700,000. Modern historians aren't sure which, if any, of these figures are accurate. It's also important to remember that a single book could require several scrolls. So counting scrolls is not the same as counting books. Even if the highest estimates are exaggerated, historians generally agree that the Library of Alexandria was one of the largest and most important libraries of the ancient world. Chapter 6. The Fire That Became a Legend. Then came the mystery. For generations, people have told the story that the Library of Alexandria was destroyed in one enormous fire. The most famous version of the story involves Julius Caesar. In 48 BC, Caesar became involved in a civil war in Egypt. During the fighting in Alexandria, he ordered ships in the harbor to be burned. The flames spread beyond the docks. Some ancient sources suggest that the fire damaged warehouses containing scrolls. Later writers claimed the library itself burned. But here's the mystery. No surviving ancient source clearly states that Caesar completely destroyed the entire Library of Alexandria. Because of this, many historians believe the story of a single catastrophic fire is probably too simple. Chapter 7. A mystery that lasts to this day. If one fire didn't destroy the library, then what did? This is where history becomes uncertain. Some historians think the library may have been damaged several times over hundreds of years. Wars, political unrest, economic decline, changing rulers, religious conflicts. Instead of disappearing in one dramatic night, the library may have slowly declined until little remained. Unfortunately, many records from that time have also been lost. That means historians must piece together clues from ancient writers, archaeology, and surviving documents. More than 2,000 years later, no one can say with complete certainty exactly when the Library of Alexandria disappeared, or what was lost forever. That mystery is one of the reasons it continues to fascinate people today. And in the final chapter, we'll explore the leading theories, what most historians believe today, and why the Library of Alexandria still inspires the world. The Lost Library of Alexandria, Part 3. The End of a Legend. Chapter 8. What do historians believe today? For centuries, people searched for a single answer to one question. Who destroyed the Library of Alexandria? The truth is that historians no longer think there's one simple answer. Instead, many believe the library declined over several centuries. It may have suffered damage during Julius Caesar's campaign in 48 BC. Later, the city experienced wars, political instability, and changes in leadership. Buildings were destroyed and rebuilt. Funding for scholars likely declined. By the 3rd and 4th centuries AD, many of the institutions that had made Alexandria the world's intellectual capital were no longer as strong as they once were. Rather than one dramatic night of destruction, the library may have slowly faded away. That conclusion isn't as dramatic as a single fire, but based on the available evidence, many historians consider it the most likely explanation. Chapter 9. What was lost? This is perhaps the saddest mystery of all. No one knows exactly what was inside the library. Were there books that described civilizations now forgotten? Did they contain scientific discoveries that disappeared for centuries? Were there works by famous philosophers, poets, and historians that no longer exist? We simply don't know. Many ancient books survive today only because copies were made elsewhere. Others vanished forever. Every lost scroll represents a voice from the past that can no longer speak to us. Chapter 10. The Legacy Lives On. Although the ancient library disappeared, its idea never died. The dream of collecting and sharing knowledge inspired libraries, universities, and research centers across the world. Even today, people continue that mission by preserving books, documents, photographs, and digital information for future generations. In 2002, Egypt opened the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, a modern library built near the site of the ancient city. While it is not the original Library of Alexandria, it honors its spirit by promoting learning, research, and international cooperation. The ancient library may be gone, but its influence still reaches across the world. Conclusion: the Library of Alexandria remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Was it destroyed by fire? Did it slowly disappear over centuries? Or did history erase the truth before anyone could record it? We may never know. But perhaps the greatest lesson of Alexandria isn't about how knowledge was lost. It's about why knowledge must be protected. Every book, every discovery, and every idea carries part of humanity's story. When we preserve knowledge, we preserve our future. And when we lose it, we lose a part of ourselves. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Prime History, and join us next time as we uncover another forgotten chapter of our world's past.